Alright, hey everyone, here we are back for hole number 8 here. This is going to be hole number 4 of this Harbour Town tournament. Just 3 rather easy, shorter Harbour Town holes. Here you can see, especially with the tailwind, we can make easy work of this hole. In the headwind, it might almost be driver, 3 wood, so it is significant. Getting this wind. And here you're going to see both times we're going to get to play this with a Spectra. And one of the things that you're going to see is, if you remember, I used topspin on the front. So the difference between topspin and I'm thinking somewhere around 5 backspin here. So you can see a very large difference with the amount of rings that I play. And also you can see that I'm keeping this ball guide pretty short because I do expect it to extend out a bit. So with that in mind, we're just going to kind of straighten up this arrow, pull right at 12 or very close to 12. And I'm thinking, 1.3, 1.4 per ring, somewhere in there. So 6 rings. So we'll just pull down to a spot that looks like 5 and just get just a little bit more for 6. So right around 6 rings, you can see I kept that ball guide short. I do expect it to expand out. And as I mentioned, I use topspin on the front, 5 backspin, so you can see the range of spins you need to be able to play in this game. And you can see the weight's pretty good. I really just needed to get that alignment right on the hole, and we may have made it. But you can see how different you have to play the 2 shots. So these are the major concepts that you want to be learning about this game, so you can keep the ball in there tight and get as much tiebreaker as you can. You can see I keep a lot of my shots in the 800s. And it's just kind of knowing situations and, learning from different things that you need to do. Now, what we're going to have to do here, again, it looks like we got a very similar wind to the front. I might use a very similar ball. I do want to make sure that I do get a good tiebreaker on this one. And very tough to get a tiebreaker on this hole. This is a hole you really need to be careful with. So it requires me, if I want to, make sure that I get this ball on the green, as opposed to kind of risking it here with a no power ball, really got to just go ahead and spend a ball on these. There's almost, because it's just so tight. You can see it's just so tight on that pin there. Right on the front of the green. Not a lot of room to work with here. And one of the things that you'll see, I'm going to go just a little bit under my adjustment last time. So I'm pulling up there, definitely less than 4 rings this time. I'm thinking 3.5. And we'll just see how this goes, because last time I was a little bit too much on my pull, which resulted in me being to the right of the hole. I'm going to try to get a little bit more aggressive here. A little bit different line. Looks like I'm a little under this time. So I went from over to under, but nevertheless, you can see good tiebreakers, and we're just really focused on putting the ball in there close so we can give ourselves the best chance to win our bracket. And you'll see when looking at my score here that, we've put up a large amount of, all of our shots. Most of them are in the high 800s, but they're all in the 800s. So let's see what we have here. This is hole 2. That's the one it is. So that's right. I think I remember that. And close that down. So very similar wind to what they gave me last time. We're going to try to do... So I got similar winds on both of these sets. I wonder if that's something they're changing up to where it's not random. It seems unusual that I've primarily got, it might be different magnitudes. It might be different by about 30 or 40 degrees, on a unit circle. But for the most part, all 3 of these holes for both sets almost have identical winds. I don't know if this is something that they're mixing up and they did this intentionally. I'll try to pay attention to my next set of guides in the amateur division, see if the same thing winds up happening. So here you can see we get it out into play. Very similarly, I would imagine we're going to go Viking. And we had a tailwind last time on the second shot. So another tailwind. The only one that was different was hole 1, shot 2. On hole 1, shot 2, I had a complete side wind, and then this time I got a tailwind, which is completely different. And that's the only one out of all those 6, what is that, 6 winds plus second shots, like 10 different winds, and only one of them was uniquely different from the rest. Here you can see with the tailwind, we should be able to get a little bit more aggressive. Now that I saw how the first time this plays out, I'm going to have a lot more confidence knowing that I don't need to backspin this off this fairway here. So if I can hit this spot on the fairway, I know I don't need the spin. And we're going to try to maybe cut this corner. You can see I wasn't even really close to hitting the tree last time. I think this wind is smaller. So with it being smaller, I'm even going to go 1 top spin. Since the wind is smaller. And it looks like it's hitting the tree now. It should not hit the tree. As I pull these rings, well, not only with the rings, but you got to keep in mind that I'm also going to be curling significant. So this changes the arc angle that it comes around. And there you can see another ultimate. We are trying to, you can see, I'm keeping it in there. And as I mentioned, we have a little bit of top spin this time. Does get it up there a little bit closer, not much. As you can see, the wind was smaller, so it really didn't expand out as much. So even the 1 top spin wasn't even enough. Could have even used 2 on that one. So those are the things you want to keep in mind. Good luck with your progress. Let's see how we finish out here. Hopefully you guys are able to get these 3 holes without incident. And you can also put up a pretty decent tiebreaker. We don't have the best tiebreaker, but it's pretty good. Yeah, and the only reason that we left too much on the par 5s. But, oh man, so we lost by 18. So you can see, it just shows you, just just a couple of rotations on that 6th hole. If I just would have got that just a little bit more rotation, 19 points is all we needed. So we were right there towards the top. You're going to see a lot, there's not going to be a lot of 8s. It's not a huge deal. We don't have to win. We don't have, necessarily the best clubs to really play that last shot. So you can see the more that we upgrade that and the more that we can curl it, the easier it's going to be to get that in close, especially, as the ball guide extends. But, just a little bit better is all I needed there. 19 points, and probably, 65 would probably hold. You'll see not a lot of high tiebreakers up there because it really requires you hitting all your shots right next to the hole. I had so many shots in the 8s. So because of that fact, I can put up a decent tiebreaker. So keep that in mind. Good luck with your rounds out there. Hopefully you guys nail this one, and I'll see you guys next time. Good luck.